Okay. Welcome everyone sitting and everyone in the line for a coffee. I totally understand you. I got very difficult task because supposedly 15 minutes after the lunch is the lowest energy level in the group. That's why I have very light talk, which is the update on what is happening on SAP Developer Relations, SAP Developer Center, run by SAP Developer Relations team. Okay, I work for SAP, therefore I don't know how some of previous SAP colleagues did this without showing you the legal disclaimer. Probably it would take the whole 15 minutes that I got for you to read and understand this. Therefore, I will just do a short summary of what is said there. Basically, it says you cannot buy any SAP product or service based on whatever I'm telling you here. Okay? Now that we are all online, I knew that I'm going to present in Germany, therefore I put the agenda for this 15 minutes. But basically I'm from Eastern Europe, right? So don't expect me to follow this agenda and don't expect me to stick to this 15 minutes that I got. Okay, so let's start with me. I'm not going to do the same mistake as Oliver did, that assuming everyone knows him. My name is Vitaliy, or Vitaliy, depends how you want to spell it, and depends on which passport you are looking into. I have two passports, Ukrainian and Polish, and because my original name is in Cyrillic, so there are two different spellings. If it is difficult for you to remember, just remember my Twitter handle, Sehismundovic, and then you are good. I spent 15 years being technology consultant before joining SAP 5 years ago, and I joined SAP Developer Relations team, which is the global team, and in this developer relations team, I'm responsible for a few developer technologies, basically data management with SAP Vora, IoT topics, BW for Hana, and analytics, basically because of my previous technology background. And I'm based in Wrocław in Poland. So how many of you know where Poland is? Okay, just checking. And how many of you know where Wrocław is? Wow. Yeah, so we were hosting European Championship in football in 2012. We were hosting World Games just 1 month ago, and we were the European capital of the culture last year. So obviously, thanks to all of these events, you know where Wrocław is. And just for these 5 of you who didn't raise your hand, this is the map. This is Berlin. This is Wrocław. This is me driving from Wrocław to Berlin and using my mobile phone to collect GPS data as I was driving using SAP Cloud IoT, and then just analyzing this. And it is not that from the borderline there is just such a straight kind of like German Autobahn. It's just that this is where my data roaming kicked in, and this is where I used Wi-Fi, so basically just chart the straight line. But the road is going somewhat here. If you would like to do something similar to that, you actually can find this on my blog on SCN or SAP community, where I describe how I did this, and just a few more recent blogs as well, using Hana to draw ASCII map of the world based on geospatial map data, as well having some different point of view on this geospatial data. Who said to you that Europe is in the center of the world, right? Australians have full rights to assume that they're in the center of the world and actually at the top of the world as well. So the algorithm that I put for Hana allows you to do this as well. Basically, for everyone who still believes that the Earth is flat, I use this so-called polar azimuthal equidistant projection of the world as well. And sorry for everyone English native here for my pronunciation of what I just said, but you got the point. The funny thing is that you could use geospatial data in Hana as well to calculate pi number using Monte Carlo approach and still geospatial calculations within this. And one of the recent things I was publishing was about using Hana to calculate where the center of Europe is. So who assumed that Berlin is the center of the Europe? Oh, okay. Such a low confidence. Basically, yeah, so Germans call themselves Middle Europe, Poland calls themselves Central Europe, but in fact, Hana shows that it is in the Belarus, where the central point of Europe is, and this is just assuming that the whole Europe is just a geometrical shape, and what is the central point of gravity in this case. Okay, enough about me. If you want to try all this stuff, fun stuff, as I mentioned, it's all described in the blogs. But let me move to the topic that I'm here to present. So developer relations team is, as I mentioned, small global team. We're about 10 people in 80-something thousand big organization that is responsible for developers.sap.com, which is basically your developer center on sap.com, right? So now if you want to go to sap.com, you can find community. This is what Oli is doing. And then right next to this, you can find developer. And this is what our team is doing, working with the respective product teams, right? So it all starts with the developer showcases. And these showcases are there just to help you to understand what is the stuff that you can build with SAP technologies, right? So here are some of the examples that we have so far. And if any of you would like to share your examples of what you have built, but not from the business case perspective, not from the marketing perspective, but really you want to share with the world how you built your project using SAP technology, then we will be more than happy to include you here as well. And actually just talk to me. And I thought that the stuff that we were presented with SCN, we definitely should put here as a showcase as well and include IO. I don't know if Kevin is still here. I will need to reach out to him somehow differently. I believe this would really fit here as well. And just one quick example. For example, guys in Netherlands who did this Pro Publico Bono project for the local community. There was the crowdsourced river electrical plant, and then these guys, they used Hana to collect sensors from this electrical plant, community plant, and then give the UI5 application to everyone in the community so that they see how their electrical plant is performing. This picture is misleading. It is really like community scale electrical plant on the river. Okay, so that's one thing, just to help you to get inspired with some showcase or share your own. The other thing is that once you got the idea what you can build, actually you need to use tools, right? And this is the internal work that our team is doing at SAP, basically working with all these different product teams to help you get free trial or developer edition of this tool, right? So by the moment, we've got quite a lot of these tools already, and there is as well dedicated page with trials and downloads where you can just go and download or sign up for this stuff. Okay, I cannot mute it, but that's okay. Keep them coming. So obviously, you might have heard about Hana, Cloud Platform, AK, but there are actually many more tools that you can try and use for all this, right? So the moment you have inspiration, you have access to tools, you want to learn these tools, this comes with a bunch of tutorials. So basically, for all of these projects and technologies, we are working to have extended or extensive library of tutorials available, but don't miss tutorials with the official documentation. Still read the manual. There is really lots and lots of information included in SAP documentation, believe me or not. And then as well, you can share even your feedback with us. So for example, on each of these tutorials, there is a share feedback button, and you can say, this doesn't work anymore, right? And we will be happy to get this fixed. Reused SAP open source code and samples, all that is available in there. So basically, I don't know if you've seen or not. There are 233 open source repositories at GitHub available already. Obviously, the most prominent ones like on UI5 or the new Python connector for SAP Hana. All of that is there. Oops. And for example, for IoT, there is an extensive IoT starter kit there available as well. Engage with other developers through SAP community. So basically what Oliver showed you, and through forums and blogs over there. Meet your fellow developers on all the possible kind of events. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Don't miss Open SAP courses. I'm curious how many of you kind of like actively working, for example, with machine learning. Okay, 3. How many of you would like to try machine learning? Okay, everyone. We just take a picture for that. So Open SAP course for machine learning introduction was mentioned already, but as well, if you want to go deeper, for example, into something that was presented with regard to the text analysis, there is a full text search with SAP HANA platform coming and starting on September 13. If you want to try the product that I'm working on with Vora and big data, it is starting next week as well. So there is lots and lots of Open SAP courses on everything that we have discussed here so far. Okay. And last but not least, stay up to date with SAP Developer Center. Extremely easy to find. So on this developer homepage, the moment Wi-Fi is loaded, there is a big button, subscribe to newsletter. The last monthly newsletter was sent out, I believe, this week. But you can find all the previous newsletters here as well, right? So on the newsletters, you can see whatever we discussed and presented previously, but ideally just subscribe and just stay up to date with everything that is happening. Now, I didn't ask this at the very beginning, how many of you are in any shape or form related to developers? So basically being developer, being project manager for developers. Okay, quite a few. Sorry for everyone else who has to listen to me. How many of you are ABAP developers? ABAP, yeah, ring the bell. Okay, how many of you ABAP developers have heard about ABAP Code Retreat? Okay, cool. But I still didn't hear about ABAP Code Retreat happening in Berlin so far, but it is happening in quite many other areas this year. So we can just go to ABAP Code Retreat and check where next meetings are coming. One of them in October is happening in Tychy in Poland, the beer capital of Poland. So if you are interested to mix ABAP and beer, certainly the location to consider for you. The HANA updates. So basically I asked all the team members from our team what are the most important things to share with you. So just quick scroll through that. The HANA Developer Edition on Cloud Appliance Library is dead, end of life. Why? Because we have HANA Express Edition available, and HANA Express Edition is different from Developer Edition in the sense that Developer Edition allowed you only to build or to develop the code, but don't use it in productively. HANA Express Edition allows you to run productively the stuff that you developed on that as well. Obviously, because it comes for free, there is no enterprise support included, but for many people it comes as a surprise that you can basically build productive applications and run them on HANA for free. And the other interesting thing that HANA Express Edition is now available on Google Cloud as well. So there are quite a few partnerships that we are actively working on, obviously with Amazon, with Microsoft, Azure, with Google. A few more are coming, so stay tuned for TechEd announcements. And then the area that I'm responsible for, or where I'm working with product teams, BW for HANA. How many of you working with BW or interested in BW? Okay, that makes 3, 4, 5 of us. Stay tuned. We don't have the page yet available, but I'm working with the product team to make the whole package available after the ticket. So basically access to free developer edition with extensive tutorials and so on and so forth. The Vora stuff, this is another thing that I'm responsible for. So right now we have Vora Developer Edition as virtual machine downloadable to your laptop, version 1.4, but working already on 2.0. I didn't say it, you didn't hear it. It hasn't been announced yet, but should be available in a couple of months as well. Internet of Things, another technology close to my heart that I'm working with. So to make it SAP naming convention following, the full name is obviously Leonardo IoT Foundation Technical Services. And this is the new IoT 4.0 version. Unfortunately, it is not available for free to developers yet. Kind of like it is in the plans, but currently it is available only to customers and partners. The good news is that you can still use currently available IoT Services 2.0. And if you want to understand MQTT, which is, for example, IoT-specific protocol, you can easily use the IoT Services 2.0. And the moment IoT 4.0 will come with MQTT support, you will just reapply your knowledge already, right? To make it more confusing for you and for the rest of the world, obviously, if you want to understand what Leonardo is, because I got this question as well, I'm happy to answer. But let us focus not on marketing, because Leonardo is pure marketing term, but more on technology right now. The IoT Foundation Business Services, something that is called as well IoT Application Enablement. The APIs or subset of APIs is available through API Hub, so api.sap.com. And there is a sandbox behind this. If you want to try it out, you can easily do that. And then the new thing that I worked on and I am extremely happy about is now we have as well SAP IoT presence on Huckster.io. So one of you who is maker in heart and played with any IoT devices, you might have heard about the Huckster.io page. This is where people are sharing their projects and tutorials in there. So we have the SAP products listed there. It is really fresh thing. So far we have only 2 projects, but I saw that there was the new project published by someone from community just today. Yeah, because today is September 2nd, right? Okay. So let's just approve it live. And now let us go back to SAP page. So now we should have, okay. In a few minutes, we will have 3 projects published already there. But you can see it is so easy for you to contribute and for me to moderate and approve it that we hope to have many more projects posted in there as well. So obviously, if you want to reach out to traditional SAP community, you go to sap.com. If you want to reach out with your project to traditional makers community, you can repost the same stuff at Huckster.io as well. Any questions, just let me know. Machine learning. So we've got already the first SAP Leonardo machine learning tutorials published. I believe it is with regards of the image recognition. So basically you can reuse what is available on api.sap.com. There is a sandbox behind this. You can upload your own image and you can run this recognition. As far as I know, there was something mentioned about TensorFlow here today as well. Now with the current version of Hana, which is available as Hana Express as well, there is something that is called EML, is Extended Machine Learning Library, and you can integrate with the TensorFlow models and run them in Hana as well. SAP Cloud Platform, sorry, I kind of like skipped this because Matthias will have the whole 45 minutes on that, and if he will not, then this is the guy sitting at the back in the glasses, and ask him all the questions you want about SAP Cloud Platform. But important to understand or to know, for example, there will be Cloud Foundry conference in Europe, and SAP is one of 3 main sponsors of that conference, with quite many of our SAP colleagues presenting there. And this one I put somewhat selfishly, but how many of you are physically based in Central Eastern Europe, not in Middle Europe, which is Germany? Okay, it makes 2 of us. I cannot participate, but there is a contest innovative using SAP Cloud Platforms for Central Eastern Europe located people. And UX, UI5Con happened a couple of months ago in Waldorf. It was SAP sponsored. The whole conference is available as YouTube videos. So if you are in UI5 development and you didn't manage to physically join our colleagues in Waldorf for that conference, then you just go to YouTube, search for UI5Con at SAP, and all this content is available there as well. Okay, so talking about events, SAP Inside Tracks are continuing, not just this one, meetups and Stammtisch. Oliver was inviting you already. SAP TechEd, the main SAP Technology Conference, is happening during this fall. We introduced the new Discovery Pass, which is reduced price, which allows you to visit the show floor and find all my colleagues there in the app space, and as well participate in selected, curated list of topic sessions as well. I was actually selecting those for big data and IoT if you are interested in those. And if you are interested in SAP Code Gems, just let me know. For the sake of time, let me just scroll through this with a little ad break. So we had our SAP Inside Track in Wrocław already this year. These are actually pictures from the year before, and recognize some of the familiar faces here as well. Oliver been there, he survived, he came back. If you want to get any insider tips from him, just talk to him. You are more than welcome to join next year in May. It is only 3 hours driving by a bus from Berlin. And with this, thank you for your attention. Danke, dziękuję, and dziękuję. If you will have any questions, just please approach me and let's talk. I just don't want to open this floor for questions for the sake of the time. Okay, thank you.